Greetings viewers, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we've got double vision. Not one, but two Subaru Sambars. You're all pretty much familiar with my 1994 Sambar KS4. This is a JA Sambar, which stands for Japanese Agriculture. That was a commercial base model version of the Sambar. They were very sparsely optioned. Most all of them were four-wheel drive with extra low crawler gear, and not many of them had air conditioning or any other options. They were, like I said, a base model commercial vehicle, mainly owned by farmers or other tradespeople. Now this, on the other hand, is my latest acquisition. This is a 1994 Subaru Super Deluxe Sambar. This is the consumer version. This is something that average Joe would walk into the dealership and pick up themselves rather than what your average farmer would for a work vehicle. So what made me pick up another Sambar when I've done so much work to my current 94? Well, this one was just too good of a deal to pass up. The importer I purchased this Sambar from, Voglerimports in North Carolina. I believe it's Indian Trail they're based out of. They have an Instagram account, Facebook account. I'll link those in the description below. But they imported both the original Sambar and this newest one. So check them out. This is a very low kilometer, well-preserved Super Deluxe. And the main draw for me getting the Super Deluxe is factory air conditioning, which is a must-have in the South. Got by for quite a while on the floor vents and the blower motor alone on this truck, but above 80 degrees, you gotta open the windows up and you're gonna sweat to death if you don't. This thing will freeze you out. I've been thoroughly impressed with the air conditioning in just the few days I've owned it, but we're gonna get into more repair videos and we're gonna look at the AC system on this truck. Because when the truck was imported, the AC system was discharged. They went ahead and charged it to make sure everything was functioning, and it did, but on the way home, it started short cycling the compressor, so likely it is getting low on refrigerant. It's likely got a leak somewhere. So we're gonna go through and do a video on diagnosing AC leaks on this truck and fix that issue. So more about the truck. Low mileage, as I said, 38,000 kilometers. It just turned 38,000 on the way here with it, which equates out to about 23,000 miles. Give or take, which again for a 1994 is extremely low mileage. That works out to a little over 800 miles a year if they were driving it regularly. This car is pristine on the inside and outside. Still has glossy clear coat on the paint. This thing looks like white chalk because they didn't get washed, they didn't get cared for, they didn't get waxed, and they barely had their oil changed, being the commercial version. These things are basically running to the ground. This one, not so much. It is clean as can be. The interior's in near perfect condition. Still has nice white glossy paint in the bed. Doesn't look like it's really hauled anything. This truck doesn't even have tailgate chain, so I really doubt they did haul much in it, which were an option. Basically everything on these Sambars were an option. Even the grab handles on the A-pillar, they did not order on this truck, whereas my original JA had them, which is one component I'm gonna transfer over when I get ready to sell this truck. Moving to that, yes, we are going to be transitioning parts from my current to the new Sambar, and then I will be selling my original Sambar. I've done a quick look at the truck. I haven't done a full inspection. That video is coming. Everything that's wrong with this truck video. But just on first initial look, this truck is a little bit louder than my Sambar. The exhaust is louder, so I think we might have a slight exhaust leak somewhere. I did notice that there's a rear main seal leak. Again, that's not from the mileage, it's just from the age that happened. So we will be pulling the transmission and the clutch assembly to do a rear main seal in this truck. We'll be going through all the same maintenance that we went through on this truck just for age. Mileage, we don't need to do a timing belt, water pump, all that, but just for the age, we're gonna go ahead and do all that. And we're also gonna do an electrical ignition tune-up, just like we did on this truck. The ride quality of this truck is insane, how much smoother it rides with so much newer bushings and shock absorbers and all of that stuff. It just rides so much nicer. And the main thing, the air conditioning just makes it a pleasure as well. So with that said, let's go ahead and do a walk around on the new truck, check it out, and we'll compare and contrast some things between it and the old truck. So starting off in the front, as I mentioned a little bit ago, the main difference is this truck still has the black plastic Sambar bumper with no fog lights, which was standard. Also has the small little black Shrekier looking side view mirrors. whereas my Sambar had the painted Dias or Dias van front bumper with the fog lights. It also has the big van chrome mirrors that are pretty much necessary on the truck. I believe they are way better visibility than the tiny little factory truck mirrors. Other than that, the paint is just so much shinier and glossier on this truck. It's hard to tell in the video. I haven't washed either of them yet, and the pollen is still rampant here. So hard to tell that, but it's definitely a lot nicer paint on the new truck. I say new, but they're both 94s. Say like the side view mirror, as you can see, it's cracked up quite a bit from UV sitting out, being a commercial vehicle, where the side view mirrors and headlights on this truck are near mint condition, perfect, no cracks, barely any yellowing. So as most of you know, my JA had a spray-in bed liner done before I purchased it, and it looks really great, and I really love it. It's been a great coating, has really held up. I can't recall the kit they said they used for it, but definitely will be doing a coating on this Sambar. As you can see, it still is a freshly painted white glossy interior on the bed. Barely any scuffing or scratches, barely any wear. Doesn't look like it was used for hauling very much. The big thing that is a letdown on it is it doesn't have tailgate chains, which were an option. So when you open up the tailgate or the sides, they have to go all the way down because there's no chains to hold them open at a 90-degree angle. Also, it doesn't have the rubber protectors on top of the bed sides or the tailgate, which my JA does. Another thing, I'm going to try to source from Japan and get those in. Other than that, that's pretty much it for the back. One difference is the little headache rack bar here in the new truck is white, where it's black on the old truck. We'll be changing the white and black bars between the two. As far as damage goes on the new truck, there is the antenna. The tip of it was broken off, so I'll be replacing the antenna with the old truck. Its antenna was in perfect condition. There is barely any issue with the paint, barely any scuffs. I haven't really found any dents, just in very, very good condition for the age. And it is, of course, still on the factory 12-inch wheels. As I said, we will be replacing those with the 14-inch Tanabe SSRs that I had put on the first truck. Still, another big difference between the two trucks, which is kind of trivial, is that Grandpa truck still has an original Subaru ignition key, whereas the original 94 only had a copied key. It was not a Subaru original key, and I only had one key for each of them. So here is the pristine interior in Grandpa truck. No blemishes, no issues on the dashboard, no scratches on the the plastic screen of the cluster. It does not have the aftermarket cup holder, which I have grown to love and will probably be keeping from my original Sambar. Even has a factory installed Sambar floor mat, whereas my original had an aftermarket. And both seats are matching with basically perfect upholstery, no pop seams or issues, whereas my Sambar has a quote-unquote simulated houndstooth, I would guess, pattern for the passenger seat, whereas the driver's seat is just solid gray vinyl. I think that the JAs had a solid gray vinyl rather than the design in them. So another thing that was kind of aggravating about my truck is someone had drilled and put an aftermarket switch here. They were planning to rig up those fog lights, but never did. As we can see in the cluster, 38,004 kilometers. Like I said, it just rolled over. Other than that, no scratches, no scuffs. The cubby up here in the dash is very clean. On my truck, there's glue and holes where they drilled and tried to attach some accessories to the dashboard. None of that here. Looking at the HVAC, the all-important little blue AC button there that makes these trucks just so much more enjoyable. And a factory Subaru Panasonic radio, which was not In my truck had a Suzuki radio that was spliced in for some reason. Here's a very rare thing to see. That is the factory installed road flare. Still in its holster, unused, for if you have a breakdown and need to signal traffic. And the glove box is much more shallow in this truck than my original truck, and it took me a minute to realize that they had to make it shallow because of the AC evaporator core. So there's a slot up here for the owner's manual to slide in. I've got the owner's manual, I've got the manual for the air conditioning, I've got the auction sheet where it was inspected at the auto auction. All of that information is right here. We'll be retaining the blue cover that my owner's manual is in my original Sambar. Here's something that was left in the glove box, some trinket from JA. So apparently this truck was purchased through a JA, Japanese agriculture dealership as well, or it was traded in there or something at some point in its life, just due to the fact that it's got a JA there at the bottom. I'm not even sure what these are. They look like little envelopes. So another thing this truck doesn't have that must have been an option is the little storage cubby behind the passenger seat. The storage cubby in my truck has the lug wrench and the spanner for getting the spare tire out from under the bed and a few other things, but that is not in this truck. So I guess that cubby was an optional extra. So I guess I just didn't get a wheel nut wrench or the wrench that part of the breakdown kit unless it's hidden somewhere else. Now the factory jack and jack handle are where they should be, behind the driver's seat. I'll have to slide the front seat forward and might barely be able to show you. I'm not sure if the camera and the lens will fit down here, but the factory jack and jack handle are right there in very close proximity between the back of the driver's seat and the cab. So super, super clean. Almost hate to drive this thing because of how pristine a little time capsule it is. As we see, super deluxe Sambar and four-wheel drive. Also, again, paint is great, as so are the tail lights, reverse light, and the rear engine cover. Really quickly, might as well open this up and give you a shot of the engine. Which, yes, it is quite dusty in here, but overall it's still very clean. No oil leaks really visible other than that rear main seal. And everything's basically where you'd expect it. One oddity I did notice is, hard to tell here, but the engine is sitting crooked due to that engine mount. This engine mount has started to break down on my first Sambar, but this one looks like it completely failed, and they jerry-rigged it where the mount would sit on top of the other piece where it should sit inside of the other piece. I guess they did that to keep the engine from sitting on the subframe, but it does put the engine at an upward odd angle. Hopefully it hasn't done much damage, if any at all. That might be why I'm hearing my exhaust louder on this truck than my first truck. Assuming that it put the exhaust here in a bind or something and maybe caused an exhaust leak. Hopefully it's something pretty simple. And looking down the passenger side again, no real dents, scratches, dings to report. Of course, for some reason, all of these trucks are missing their battery covers. But this one happens to have an AC Delco battery, which was installed in Japan, which is crazy to see a AC Delco battery with Japanese writing on it. Again, these are the factory 12-inch wheels, and they are wrapped in Goodyear rubber. So a little bit better than what I had on my truck to start with. Here's the only real damage I have found, is this little ding right here. Looks like someone might have got too close to something, and they kind of tore the mud flap and have a small little ding scratch here. So shouldn't be too hard to knock that back out and get that touched up. Looks like they just miscalculated and got a little close to something. Real quick, we'll take a look at my Sambar again for comparison. You can see all the dents and dings and scratches and yellow paint down there for some reason. I don't know what happened there. And a little bit of rust and things of that nature. But yep, JA Sambar instead of Subaru Sambar Deluxe. There was a business name here. I've not been able to make it out, but you can tell there's lettering here on the back of the tailgate center. Again, that beautifully done bed liner, which I really want to get done to the new Sambar, as well as the tailgate chain kit and the upper guards for the bed sides. Can't forget the Koken and Up Garage stickers. I've got another Koken sticker, but I need to find another Up Garage sticker for the new truck. Again, we'll take a quick look at the interior of my current original Sambar versus the new one. Just notice they've got a door cubby panel. The door panel on the passenger side's got a little cubby there, whereas there isn't one on the quote-unquote new truck. Again, the mismatched seats. I think they're supposed to have this plain gray being the JA version. The dash, as I said, there's lots of holes and glue and things here where they tried to attach something or had something attached at one point. 79,880 kilometers. It's actually a little bit higher mileage than I remember. My installed Autometer auto gauge tack we installed a few months ago. The aftermarket cup holder that's so neat. I think I'm gonna keep it when I transfer everything over. The original Monkey Boy Joe gas station special floor mats. I really hate to see those go, although I really like having the original Sambar branded floor mats. And HVAC. Again, the block-off plate with the AC button would be Subaru radio, which we installed. I don't think I did a video on it. I think I might have just done a TikTok on it, but replaced the Suzuki radio with a genuine Subaru radio. Glove box, as you can tell, is much deeper without air conditioning. But other than that, pretty much the exact same truck. And then you can see all the work I put in this truck over the last year, dealing with rust, corrosion, refinishing the frame, everything under the truck, coating, undercoating, putting paint on everything, the drums, the calipers, the frame, all the suspension components, getting some kind of paint on them, basically all Rust-Oleum satin black. And before I forget, one major issue I had with my Sambar, the first Sambar, was the rust starting in the cab corners, right at the mud guards. No rust in the new one. Haven't really found any rust anywhere in that truck, but there were, like I said, as you can see, a couple places where rust might be an issue in the future and really need to be corrected ASAP. All right, guys, and that'll do it for the first video on the new Sambar. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.